To cut to the chase, I preferred the Sega Mega Drive over the SNES when I was growing up in Australia, because most of the great SNES JRPGs did not come to PAL region. The likes of Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy 4 and 6 and Super Mario RPG did not come to PAL region for SNES, whereas PAL region did get Phantasy Star 2, 3 and 4 and Shining Force 1 and 2, and Phantasy Star 2 turns me into a JRPG fan. Unfortunately, this is all I have left of my Sega Mega Drive collection. I had to leave my Sega Mega Drive 32X and all the games for them both back in Australia. I was able to bring my Sega Saturn with me, though. Phantasy Star 2 was an amazing game when it was released in the West in 1990. It's a JRPG that has a story that's heavily driven by science fiction, even though other JRPGs before it used some elements of science in their story. Phantasy Star 2's story is heavily driven by science, and you get to visit other planets. I love the way the buildings look, they're brightly coloured. It just felt fresh and exciting. When Phantasy Star 2 released, it set a standard for character-driven stories. It was a game that you actually cared about the characters. Its battle system is turn-based, and it required quite a bit of strategy, and I like how the characters have high-tech weapons such as laser weapons. It also has an auto-battle feature, so you don't have to do everything. If it's a fairly standard battle, you just use the auto-battle feature. Now I'll talk about Phantasy Star 3. It's set 1,000 years after the events of Phantasy Star 4, and it's like the stepchild of the series. Its story focuses on multiple generations of characters, so you can get married, and who you choose to marry affects the story and what type of ending you get. And as you can see, it goes for a more medieval style setting. It's very story driven, and I like it because it's different. Now I'll talk about Phantasy Star 4, which many people say is objectively the best game in the series. It's set 1,000 years after the events of Phantasy Star 2, but 1,000 years before the events of Phantasy Star 3. And the planet Mortavia has changed from being tropical and lush to a desert wasteland, and that actually made the story a bit emotional for me, because in Phantasy Star 2 the planet was a paradise, and its story has very good character arcs, and it has a very good turn-based battle system. Its cutscenes are presented manga style, and its visual style is very detailed. And its story is captivating if you cared what happened in Phantasy Star 2 and you want to know the fate of the Algol solar system. And how could you not love the box arts for Phantasy Star 2, 3 and 4? So I bought the Mega Drive collection for PlayStation 3, so I could own a physical way to play Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4, and many other great Mega Drive games. Up in Australia, rugby league is a very popular sport in New South Wales and Queensland, and the Australian Rugby League game was very popular with me and my friends. I'm showing it on my data frog. It's just easier that way than trying to find footage for it. The Mega Drive also got Rugby World Cup 95, which even American reviewers liked. And as the name suggests, it does have a World Cup tournament. The Australian Rugby League game allowed you to play grand finals. A couple of great cricket games in Brian Lara cricket and Shane Warne cricket. Shane Warne cricket has a great World Cup mode, and cricket's very popular sport in Australia. The Super Nintendo got a cricket game, but it was nowhere near as good. Green Dog is a game that gets a lot of criticism, but I loved it when I was a young teenager. The beach tropical theme was a bit of skateboarding. Maybe because growing up in Australia, most of the people live near the coastline. Me and my friends would often go to the beach and go boogie boarding. And the music is so relaxing. Listen to the music. Yeah, its gameplay hasn't aged well, but I'm surprised many people don't like its music. But it's a game that was popular with me and my friends when we were in high school, and it was a budget game as well. I'll let you watch a bit more footage of it. Now here we have an Australian-made game named Blades of Vengeance. It's kinda like Golden Axe, but with some RPG elements. You can buy healing potions, invincibility potions, or find them. You can upgrade your armor once, and there's a lot of gore in it. I love the music. It sounds like an 80s fantasy movie. That's why I'm going to leave the music on. I love the way the world looks like a high fantasy film from the 80s. You can choose a female warrior, barbarian, or wizard that shoots magic. This game was also popular with my friends at school, especially since it's a budget game. Listen to the music for 2 of the boss fights. This music still gives me the chills till this day. This is the opening theme music and music from one of the levels. You knew a Sonic game had to be on this list. Sonic 3 and Knuckles is close to being the perfect 2D platformer. And from what I've read, Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles were originally meant to be one game, but because of marketing reasons or something like that, Sonic 3 had to get released first. As for Sonic and Knuckles, it doesn't have a save feature, so when Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles are put together, they're nearly perfect, because Sonic 3 and Knuckles, you get the save feature and you get all the levels from Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles. You can choose to play either as Sonic or as Knuckles. And as you know, Knuckles plays a little bit differently in that he can scale walls, and besides the typical tropical and futuristic levels, I like how Sonic and Knuckles has the Sandopolis zones, which are Egyptian themed levels where with ghosts that follow you, and after a while they'll start attacking you until you pull a lever to make light to make the ghosts go away, and it makes it a little bit different, and rooms can fill with quicksand. And the mushroom forest with the giant mushrooms that can bounce you all over the place is awesome. And I love Angel Islands because of its beautiful tropical environments. I remember when I played Sonic 2 for the first time at a shopping mall, and it was so colourful and cheerful. The music is just cheerful, and the game is a bit on the easy side, but I love its speed. You can go through the levels very fast and not worry much about dying. The only level that causes me any problem is the Wing Fortress. If I get past that, I'm pretty much guaranteed to beat the game, but it's still fun nonetheless. One thing with Sonic 2, it taught me you can enjoy the game in other ways besides trying to beat it, such as trying to collect all the Chaos Emeralds and become supersonic, playing the game in co-op where you and someone else, one person uses Sonic, the other person uses Tails, or you can play a two-player versus mode. And you can also go for a perfect bonus where you get every single ring in a stage. My brother managed to do that one time. It's a game that's just easy to pick up and play. It's like comfort food. It's so easy to get into the mood to play this game. Another heavy hitter for the Mega Drive is Aladdin, one of my favourite 16-bit platformers. And from memory, it's the top-selling Mega Drive game to not be packed in with the Mega Drive. It captures the magic of a movie perfectly. The animation looks so smooth, the stage designs, the way they look and feel, and they're just so fun. You can go riding the carpets. The game plays hack and slash, but you can throw projectiles. The musical themes from the movie are used perfectly for the stages. And despite what people say, the infamous escape stage, I love that stage. The music is incredible, and I think it's fun and thrilling. I love the Aladdin movie because this game captures the spirit of the movie so well. I just love this game so much. I've played through it many times, and I also purchased it for PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch, besides Sega Mega Drive. When I play through this game, I really do feel like I'm experiencing the movie once again. Streets of Rage 2 is so fun to pick up and play. I loved playing it in co-op with my friends and with my brother. I like its colourful version of a dystopian theme. I much preferred Streets of Rage 2 over Final Fight. In my opinion, Streets of Rage just plays better. Not much else to say. It's just so playable and it's a classic. Gunstar Heroes is one of the few run and gun games I like. The controls feel so natural. I like how you can shoot in many directions. The game plays insanely fast, and it's got a very accessible difficulty level. You can choose an option for easy difficulty level because I'm not very good at run and gun games. And I like its art style. Its color palette reminds me of the Sonic games and Ristar. It's colorful, it's fast, exciting, and fun with very natural gameplay. Here's a game I absolutely love. World of Illusion. It feels like you're watching a Disney film. The levels are colorful and imaginative. The game plays on the easy side. You can beat the game in 30 minutes, but it's fun. It's relaxing to play. Not all games need to be challenging. And you can choose either Mickey or Donald, and when you do so, there's differences in the levels, and you can also play the game co-op, which will give you extra levels. The platforming's a bit on the easy side. Whatever challenge the game does have will actually come more from the combat, because you use a magical cape to take out enemies who rush at you, who can shoot projectiles at you, as well as from the bosses. But the game is just so fun. I keep coming back to it. It's just relaxing to play. So that wraps up my video. Different regions do have cultural differences when it comes to which games people prefer, because in Australia and in most of Europe, the Mega Drive was more popular than the SNES. In Australia and most of Europe, the Sega Master System was more popular than the NES. The Mega Drive and Sega Master System were more popular than their Nintendo counterparts in Brazil as well, but the Mega Drive flopped in Japan, even though it's Japanese. Anyways, that's all for now. Take care. I nearly forgot to add Shining Force 2. I can't forget to show it because it showed me how great turn-based combat can be. Its turn-based combat system is so in-depth. The strategy and the way you use a grid system. It's a bit light on story, but it's nicely presented. It's colourful. It was made by the same development staff who made Golden Sun, and for its time it was an amazing JRPG. Despite it mostly focusing on turn-based strategy, it does have a world map that you can explore, and you can explore towns. Shining Force 2 and Phantasy Star 2 were the two games that got me into JRPGs.